Hello, hello, and welcome to another episode of Glorious Life on Wheels, the first one for 2024. And I don't think I could have a more appropriate topic than the one I'm going to be discussing today. A week or so ago, I did a couple of interviews with a senior gentleman by the name of Terry, but he was seeing everyone around him, the seniors that is, around him, who were being priced out of their apartments, that they had to give up almost all the basic things that made life comfortable. They had to give up their cars, they couldn't go out, they basically were stuck just sitting in their house paying rent, or their apartment paying rent. And he knew that's not what he wanted to do. So he came up with a plan, he bought a trailer, he moved into it and hit the road. And he shared with me how he lives for $180 total rent for 7 months out of the year. This is the first year he's doing that. And I had so many requests to share the specific details that I'm going to do that in this video. So come on, and I'm going to show you how Terry lives for $26 a month for 7 months out of the year, and how you can do it too. Well, let's get right to it, and I'm going to tell you where you can park for $180 for 7 months, and that is Quartzsite, Arizona. Quartzsite, Arizona is a very small town. It usually has a population between 1,500 and 3,000 during much of the year, but during the winter season, it balloons to, I've heard estimates of anywhere from 750,000 to 1 million. And that's because there are a lot of events going on there. There's a huge RV tent show where a lot of people come who hire camp host for the summer. And of course, there's one of the biggest RV events of the year, and that's the Rubber Tramp Rendezvous, which is put on by Bob Wells from Cheap RV Living, where all kinds of RVers, nomads, and people who are just interested in this lifestyle come to learn about it. But let me get right to, as I said, the information about how you can camp for $180 for 7 months. It is on what's called BLM land. That's Bureau of Land Management property or lands. These are public lands where you can camp on, some of them for free. And stay tuned, at the end of the video I will talk about some of the places where you can camp for free in Quartzsite. But the LTVA BLM land, LTVA stands for Long-Term Visitor Area. There are 4 of them directly in or around Quartzsite, and they're called the Laposa group. There's Laposa North, Laposa South, Laposa West, and Tyson Wash. You can purchase a pass which allows you for $180 total to camp from September 15th all the way through to April 15th. As I understand it, that pass will allow you to camp at any of the LTVAs in Quartzsite and some other ones, including in California, but more on that later. You don't have to stay the entire 7 months. You can stay for a month, leave and go somewhere else, maybe Lake Havasu or wherever you want, and come back. So it just allows you to park during that time, but you don't have to remain there for the same time, and you have what I would call in and out privileges. You can go and come back as long as it's during that 7-month period. And Laposa South is where a lot of people prefer to stay. The reason being is Laposa South not only has vault toilets, but Laposa South also has potable water. It has a wet dump site. It has a dry dump site where you can dump your tanks, and it also has trash. So that's why Laposa South is one of the more popular of the LTVAs in Quartzsite. Now, what you have to do, or what you're supposed to do, if you're not in a self-contained vehicle that has a tank or somewhere for you to store your waste, they ask that you park within a certain number of feet from one of the toilets. And that makes sense because they don't want you emptying and dumping your waste out there. Some of you may be wondering, is there a way to stay at an LTVA for less than the 7 months and pay a lesser charge? And the answer to that is yes, there is. They have a $40 pass that's good for 14 consecutive days. And if you just want to go to an event or say the RTR, but you don't want to stay the whole season, you can buy a 14-day pass. You can also extend that or get another 14-day pass, and you can do that as many times as you want. It's my understanding, but do check this out yourself, but it is my understanding that either the 7-month pass or the 14-day passes can be used at any of the LTVs in Quartzsite, and also some of them in California. The LTVAs, they have got to be one of the best, if not the best thing going for someone who is on a budget looking to camp somewhere inexpensively. I mean, for $180 for 7 months, that's $26.80 or something per month. That's less than $1 a day. I don't know where you can beat that, especially and have a dump site, have trash, have water, toilets. I just don't know where else you can beat that. Now, there are some other LTVs outside of the Quartzsite area, and I will share a few of those with you. In California, as I referenced earlier, there's Imperial Dam, and that's on the other side of the river from Yuma, is my understanding. I haven't been there, but it's actually in California. Now, a lot of people love camping there because it also has the dump site, the trash, the potable water, but it also, in addition to having vault toilets, it has a few flush toilets, I understand, and even has some hot showers. Also, there is Midland, which is not too far from Quartzsite. It's in Blythe, California. My understanding, it also has the dumpsters and trash RV dump site, and I don't know if it has potable water. I don't think it does. Then there's Hot Springs LTVA. That's in Holtville, California, and my understanding is that actually has 2 hot springs. One is really hot, I've heard, and the other not so. One of the things I would strongly suggest you do is that you put down some kind of marker to show that you are residing in a particular area. You have set up camp there. And there are not designated campsites. I mean, there's like between 11 and 12,000 acres. So it's huge and massive amount of land. So they're not designated campsites. They're not marked off. You just drive along and see a site that you like, that you want to camp at, and you go there and you set up your camp. But if you don't have a trailer that you're going to leave there, or if you don't have a tent or something to show that that particular area is occupied, you could, for instance, if you're in a self-contained van like I am, but I have to drive it to go to town or to drive where I'm going to go, I don't have a separate vehicle. If I don't leave something down, or if you don't leave something down, when you come back, your campsite may have been taken by someone else because there's nothing there showing that you are actually camping there. So if you have a cheap rug, mat or something that you can put out, maybe put some rocks around it to show that that's an area that's already occupied. Now, I don't recommend leaving expensive equipment out and leaving, such as a generator or a power station or solar panels. I just don't recommend it. Most of the people that you encounter are going to be honest, wonderful people. But anytime you have the number of individuals around and gathered together, there are bound to be a few bad actors who are there and have the intentions of ripping someone off or taking advantage of someone. So again, unless you're in an area that you're camping with others and someone is staying behind, I don't recommend leaving expensive equipment out. Now, one of the ways that you can get your pass is you can go online and you just go to the BLM site, or just put in LTVA or LTVA Quartzsite or LTVA Arizona, and you will come up and you can, on there, you will be able to purchase your voucher. Now, what you have to do is once you've purchased it, you will have to download that, print that out, and then you will have to take it into, my understanding is, one of 3 locations. You can take it to the Yuma field office to get a decal that you put in your on your windshield. You can take it to, I understand you can take it to Imperial Dam in California. You can take it to that camp host or that office there, or you can take it to the Laposa Tyson Wash location, their office there, and you turn in that voucher. They will give you a decal that you will stick in your windshield. Now, I have heard that at some of the LTVAs, I don't know whether they're in California, Arizona, or both, that during the summer, you can stay there for free. I've heard that, but again, you'll need to check this out for yourself. I was going to include in this video a little segment on the regular BLM land that you can stay in for up to 14 days for free in Arizona, but this video has gone on long enough, so I'm going to conclude it here. And if you want me to do a separate video about that, let me know and I will. Also, I'm going to be posting a video later this week. You don't want to miss this video. It's a short video, but it's one in which I did a recording of an actual camp setup. This is a couple who's been coming to Quartzsite for years, using the LTVA as their home for 7 months out of the year, so they really have it down. They have an outside kitchen, they have a little community room for people to come over and visit, they have an outside garden, patio. They really know how to set up a camp at an LTVA, and I think it will be very instructive and helpful. The couple did not want to be on video, but they let me record their camp. So do check back later this week for that video. I hope this has been helpful to you. If you want to find a way to camp for under $1 a day with trash and dumpsters and everything else, you know, that I've shared, this is it. All right, let me know in the comments if this was helpful and if it answered all of your questions. If not, let me know and I'll try and answer them in future videos. All right, may your journeys be filled with joy and blessings. Happy New Year, and I'll see you next time.